Hello everybody and welcome back to the Articulation Collectors channel today, and today we are taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series SS8609 Wreck-Gar. So we can go ahead and take a look at the box here. It's a very cool box. You got a nice picture of him right here, got the 8609, got the 86 movie logo there, Wreck-Gar down here with an Autobot logo. On this side we got 8609 Studio Series, he's a Voyager class. Got another picture of him. On the back, we got a picture of him in robot mode, as well as his motorcycle mode. Converts in 22 steps. On this side, we got the 86 logo and another image of him. We can go ahead and open this up and take a look at his backdrop. And I personally really like this backdrop. This is super cool looking. So this is just from the scene on the planet of Junk from the 86 movie. And he looks great in here. I think this is probably one of my favorite looking backdrops from the whole Studio Series, to be honest. It's very cool. I like the colors that they did, especially with not just the planet of Junk, but all the Junkions. They have very nice colors. But here he is, and he looks really nice. And like I just said, I really like the colors that they chose with this guy. It's like very earth tones. Very natural looking colors. I mean, I know he's a robot and he's not from Earth, but you get what I mean. It's like this nice brown and this like salmon kind of color with some reds thrown in there. It's very nice looking. I actually really like how this guy looks. You can kind of see some of his motorcycle bits up here. He's got these 4 little spikes, and unfortunately, this one came a little bent out of the box. I'm a little upset about that, but I mean, it's whatever. So he does have 3 accessories technically. He has this little spinning saw here. Very cool looking. One thing I'm kind of curious about is why did they make the handle not like all the same size, if that makes sense? Only this bit here is the right size to fit into his hand. So like all the way until here it's just loose, and then that's all he grips on. So if it just moves a slight bit, it just falls out of his hand, which I'm kind of confused about. They could have very easily put this little riveted detailing on here that they did. They could have very easily did that just as the same size as this. But they chose not to, and that's fine. It just makes it a little bit susceptible to fall out, if that makes sense. His other accessories here, you can kind of count as accessories, are these wheels, which spin fairly well. That one spins better than this one does. But they are just on this center gray piece here, and they spin. These are for vehicle mode, obviously. But you can go ahead and take this one off as well. Now, my copy is this one spins much better than the other one. But you can actually see they are different sizes. The rear tire is much thicker than the front tire, which is pretty cool. Kind of a cool little attention to detail there. You can kind of see how my little spike is bent. For articulation, his arms can go the full 360. Kind of blocked by his little handlebars back here. They can come out really far, and I like how they did this. They've been doing that on some figures, and I really like that. So it doesn't just look like, a gap there. It actually looks like an arm moving. He does have elbow bend at about 90 degrees, as well as bicep swivel. His wrists can move. Mine are very tight. And they can go down to kind of assist in sword wielding. That's also for transformation. His head is on a ball joint, so I can get, any normal ball joint movement on there. These nipple cannon things are also articulated, as well as a really nice full 360 waist articulation here. These can also move just to kind of aid in posing a little bit. So you can kick out about that far, back about the same, and he can do the full-on splits. He can actually go even past the splits. That's gotta hurt. He does have a thigh rotation here, which for some reason mine likes to kind of get a little bit dislodged when I do that. I've had his leg pop off on me twice. I've only had this thing for like maybe 24 hours at this point. His knees can bend back as well as forward. Forward is more for transformation though. He can also bend his feet back and forward, and he has ankle rocker joints, but they're like the actual foot, not necessarily the ankle. So foot rocker joints, I guess. For some size comparisons here, he is a Voyager class, and he's a pretty good size Voyager. So here he is with Kingdom Cyclonus. Let's actually line them up a little bit better here. Very nice looking. That Cyclonus is an awesome figure. Review coming soon on him. Get him out of there. And here is Kingdom Leader Class Optimus Prime. And these two are almost the exact same height. I really like how these two look next to each other. We can get him out of there. And for our last comparison, here he is with Leader Class Kingdom Galvatron, who is kind of a beefy figure. He's got a lot of mass to him. But they all look really good next to each other. Get him out of here. We can go ahead and get him transformed into his motorcycle mode. To see the transformation guide on that, link will be down in the description as well as right up here. Check that out, and we'll take a look at him in vehicle mode. And here is Wreck-Gar in his very cool looking motorcycle mode here. So this guy is actually the right size where if you have a second one, you can put him right on here and it fits perfect. And two of his accessories are actual vehicle mode parts, those being the wheels. The third one has this little peg right here, if that'll focus, has this little peg right up here that you can go ahead and put right here for storage. I actually kind of like how that looks. Kind of makes him look like he has a little like propeller on his back, you know. Seems like something the Junkions would do. And he does also have these little kickstands down here that are an absolute pain to get out because they clip in so like flushly. There's like no way to, I don't have long fingernails, so it's like very difficult to actually get those out. And it's closed, so I'm going to leave it now. Close up the other one. So he does have his little kickstand so he can hold himself, or you can just kind of lean him on his little spikes. But like I said, his little spike over here is very bent straight out of the box, and that kind of bothers me. So I don't really want to risk it bending more. But again, awesome colors. Awesome colors on this guy. And also some of the attention to detail here. The back of Wreck-Gar's head has little gauges on it that show right up in here in his vehicle mode. Kind of like a speedometer and an RPM gauge or something. You got the gas cap here. It's actually very detailed. There's kind of a gap here, but that's mostly just so that the back tire can actually spin. But very nice looking figure. I really enjoy this guy. I've had him for under 24 hours, and he is honestly one of my favorite of this 86 line. Very cool. So we can go ahead and get some more size comparisons with him. I'm going to try to bring out these kickstands. There's that one. There's that one. So for some vehicle size comparisons, there he is. And here he is with Kingdom Optimus Prime again. Leader class, not core class. So when he transforms, he kind of keeps all of his size. He doesn't get much smaller at all. So like this motorcycle and this semi seem totally out of scale, but when you think about it from the stance of the movie, other Transformers ride the Junkions in their motorcycle mode. So it's actually like a perfect size. And if you have a second Wreck-Gar, he actually fits on perfectly, and it looks really nice. I've seen pictures of it. Unfortunately, I do not have a second Wreck-Gar, but we can get him out of here. And here he is with Studio Series 8608 Nah in his Sharkticon mode. Kind of get a view there of these wave mates. Very, very cool. You know, he can kind of sit up here. Very cool looking. Get him out of there. And for the final comparison, here he is with the Studio Series Jolt. And again, these seem very out of scale, but when you think that Transformers ride this, not humans, and humans drive in this, makes a little bit more sense. These are also, they're both Studio Series, but this is more of the G1, you know, this is the Bayverse. So the scale isn't perfect between these two. But just giving you an idea of size there. Go ahead and get him out of there. We can now get him transformed back into his robot mode and take a final look at him. And here he is. So to end this video off, I think this is honestly probably one of my favorite of the 86 subline of the Studio Series. Very, very nice looking figure. And I love that like the Junkions theme song was written by Weird Al, and then Weird Al voiced him in, I think it was Transformers Animated? And I love Weird Al. But very, very cool looking figure. If you are searching for him, double thumbs up. I absolutely recommend this guy. Very cool figure. If you enjoyed that review and you want to see more, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all that fun stuff, and stick around for my next video. Have a good night.